Hey everybody, we are here today with Baily James, new country artist. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in the industry and when you knew that you wanted to sing and where you're headed with your new project and just a little bit about that and, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm 13 years old and I am a country singer. I think I first got started in the music business when I was about 11 because my parents saw that I had like a really, really big passion for music, and so they made an album with cover songs and they took it to producers in Nashville, and that's where it all started. And right now I am doing a school tour in more of the southern states like Kentucky and Tennessee, and I am about to release my EP Where It All Begins tomorrow.
That is so exciting. So you're doing the school tour. Tell us a little bit about what you're talking about at the schools and what's motivating you at these schools and what you're doing with that.
At the schools, I have this Leader in Me program, which we are following.
Mm-hmm.
My career showcases those steps, the 7 steps of the Leader in Me program, and my show. And basically, we're just trying to inspire kids to follow their dreams like I'm trying to.
Okay. So Where It All Begins is the name of this. How'd you come up with the title?
My fans actually picked the title. We wanted them to pick the title, so someone said Where It All Begins, and we were like, oh, that's really good, we'll pick that. And then they're getting a free CD.
For helping pick out the title.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So social media is a big part of your life, I'm sure, just because of your age, number one, but because it's such a huge part of the industry now. Have you had any comments or any interaction with any fans that have really impacted you and maybe helped you either write a song about it, or it just really, hit you in the feels when you learned about how your song affected them?
I've had a lot of fans who have said that my music has helped them through hard times and stuff like that, and that really hits me, and I'm like, wow. And then the other day we were at the school and the janitor was like, oh, well, you need to tell your daughter to my dad when things get rough, she needs to go home. And I really liked what he said. I thought that was really cool. And it really impacted me.
So it just goes to show it doesn't matter the age or their profession or anything. Your music is impacting a lot of different people.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit more about the Leader in Me. That's a program that you're promoting at the schools, right? And to follow their dreams. How did you come up with it being called the Leader in Me, number one? And what's kind of your goal in teaching people to do this?
Well, first, it was a book that was written,
Mm-hmm.
and so the Leader in Me was what the book was called, and so we just used that on the school tour. And what was the question?
How are you using this to try and make an impact and to teach people to become leaders or to follow their dreams? What's kind of your story behind it?
I just think that a lot of people are scared to try and go out and reach their goals because, it's a lot of people just like to say, oh, you're never going to reach that. And they try to bully, and I've experienced it before. So I'm just trying to get them to see that if you just ignore that and you do what you love and you love it enough that you can just put those bullies aside, you can reach your goal.
Very cool. Now, one thing that people probably don't know about you is how young you are and what grade you're in. Do you care to share that?
I am 13 and I am in 7th grade.
That is awesome to be as mature as you are and well-spoken and so focused on your dreams. At this age, I had no clue what I wanted to be. So that's awesome. And I'm sure your parents are a lot to credit for that.
Definitely.
They've probably been supporting you for a long time.
I needed my parents for this or I would be nowhere. Because sometimes I can't deal with it, and they're like, no, you need to calm down, you're getting a little too, because I'm 13, I get crazy.
And you're entitled.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have 2 siblings, and I have a half-brother and a half-sister. And my brother is actually in Nashville right now.
Okay.
And their names are Zane and Jessica.
Any music in their blood as well, or are you the only one that got that gene?
Well, no, they can't sing good. they they sound pretty bad when they're singing, but my brother tried to play guitar and failed.
We won't tell him, even though this is going to be all over the internet. So where did you start singing? Was it church? Was it school? Was it in front of the bathroom mirror? How did you kind of realize that singing was your thing?
I think my grandma took me to church when I was like 3, and I heard Amazing Grace, and it was just such a pretty song, and I kept singing it, and I was like, whoa, what's this singing thing? I love it.
So it just kind of grew on you from that point, and I assume that you started singing in choirs and groups at schools and stuff like that?
I did sing in a couple choirs, and sometimes when I didn't get the part, I would get really, really nervous, and I would be like, oh, am I not good? Am I not good enough?
So it pushed you to try a little bit harder and try
did.
some more things. Now you've been on stage alongside some pretty big names, Darius Rucker, Kelsey Ballerini, Thousand Horses. Talk about kind of how some of those things happened and what the experience was like.
Well, I got to be alongside those amazing artists because I had won this big radio show in Pennsylvania, the XTU show, and they just have all these amazing artists. And so once I won, I got to sing with them, and that was amazing. That was like, I was so starstruck, and they were all like sweet, and Kelsey Ballerini was so nice, and I was just like, whoa. It was a lot to handle, but it was really fun, and I wouldn't trade the experience for anything else.
So now that you've kind of had a taste of that, who else is on your go-to list of people that you want to be on stage with, open for?
The one person I would really, really like to be on stage with is Chris Stapleton. He has such an amazing voice, and he could sing over me any day. But I would be fine with it because it's him.
Now you've mentioned Amazing Grace as one of the songs that inspired you, and now just Chris. Do you define your music more as an old style country, or are you more of the pop country of some of today's younger artists?
I think I am more old style country. I do have a little pop country on my EP, but I love that retro sound way more.
Okay. Now I know that you co-wrote all the songs on the upcoming EP.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you co-write with? Any bigger name artists or writers, or just people that you know?
I co-wrote with David Norris,
Mm-hmm.
Steve O'Brien, who wrote Rock My World Little Country Girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like really, he's such a down-to-earth guy for all the stuff he's done, and I'm just like, how? So those were some really amazing writers to write with.
Mm-hmm. And being that you're young, what are some of the things that you learned from writing with these people? Obviously there's a lot of experience difference between that. So things that you've learned in school on how to write and things that you've learned in the real world, what are some things that were kind of a big surprise to you? I'm like, oh wow, this is how it's done. I had no clue.
That writing may take years, mm-hmm. and that any idea you have, even if it sounds crazy at first, it can turn into something amazing, and that you need to stay humble. And those are things that I didn't really learn in school. I thought you just wrote super fast, and if it was a bad idea, then you just let it go. But they were like, no, you need to keep those ideas. They might become something one day. You
never know. And it may touch somebody or affect somebody or have a big hit out of it. You just never know. Never, ever know. Well, I know that your world premiere is going to be on the Heartland Network.
Yes.
Talk about a little bit how it came to be and how you got associated with that.
Well, the Heartland Network, I have a great PR company who helped me get on there, and all the dates for the Heartland Network premiere will be on my social media if you want to check it out.
Okay. Well, we have had so much fun talking to you.
Thank you.
Getting to know you, and can't wait for everybody else to hear the music because it is amazing.
Thank you so much.
And I'm sure we're going to have a lot more of it. Is there anything else that you wanted to add before we say goodbye?
Just thank you everyone who watched. I hope you enjoy my EP if you listen to it. And I love you, Baily James Gang.
Awesome. Thank you, Baily. We'll see you again very soon.
Thank you.
Awesome.